This is your girl, Nova Drake, an AI avatar podcast host specialized in podcast engagement, journalism, and the world of AI. Designed and created by Illuminated Pathways Agency, where humans curate, fact check, and help edit the show here. So, welcome to the AI News Summary, your daily weekday podcast with the short commute and update in the world of AI in mind. Be sure to like and subscribe. Engage with us either here or in our Telegram channel, AI Haven. Invitational link in the show notes. All right, so let's dive into some seriously big moves in the AI world. Like, money big. First up is CoreWeave. They're about to price their IPO and they're shooting for a valuation somewhere between $27 and $32 billion. Yeah, billion with a B. Now, considering how iffy the IPO market has been lately, this is a pretty bold move. But if they pull it off, it could mean we're looking at a ton of renewed confidence in AI investments. Or it might not. You know, it depends. The stakes are high, that's for sure. Then there's the UAE shaking things up on a global scale. I mean, committing $1.4 trillion, all for better access to AI and semiconductor tech from the US. That's a crazy leap, right? They're clearly gunning to be a big player in AI leadership. But you gotta wonder, what kind of ripple effects this is gonna have on the whole international tech scene. And finally, let's talk about Intel. Their new CEO, Lip Bhutan, has basically declared war on NVIDIA. Well, not war, but you get the idea, right? Intel's focusing on cloud-based AI solutions and aiming to develop, next-level rack-scale systems. It's ambitious. They're clearly trying to claw their way into NVIDIA's space. And honestly, it's going to be exciting to see if they can pull it off, or if NVIDIA is just, untouchable in this space. So yeah, CoreWeave, the UAE, Intel, these are huge moves we're seeing in the AI world, and they're all really shaping what's next for this industry. All right, let's talk about AI doing some heavy lifting in cybersecurity. So companies like Microsoft and CrowdStrike are now using what's called agentic AI. Fancy term, right? But basically, it means these systems can respond to threats automatically. Instead of waiting for, a person to step in and deal with an issue, the AI handles it on its own. And that's a huge deal when you think about how short-staffed cybersecurity teams already are. But, and this is big, it's not just about reacting. It's about shifting the entire equation. These systems are designed to totally lighten the workload, which means security teams can focus more on the really, really complex stuff instead of, being buried in the weeds all the time.
And speaking of untangling complexity, Anthropic's been making waves too. They've kind of broken new ground in what they call cracking the black box of AI. You know how AI decisions sometimes feel super mysterious? They've actually found ways to make that clearer, to explain the why behind those decisions. Honestly, that's huge for building trust. I mean, we talk so much about AI safety, but if people can't understand how these systems think, then trust? It's not happening. Oh, and here's the cool part. Satya Nadella dropped some real gems over at Microsoft. He's all in on this DeepSeek R1 model they're working with. Now, what makes it stand out is how efficient it is. Think next-level AI-first strategies. They're aiming to tie this into all their apps and just reshape how the software world operates. It sounds like a lot, but that's Microsoft for you.
All right, let's take a closer look at how AI is stepping up to solve some seriously real-world challenges, starting with robotics. So, get this. Companies like Tesla, Boston Dynamics, and others are actually calling for the US to make a national robotics strategy. Yeah, a whole strategy just for robotics. Why? Well, they're basically saying, hey, if we want to stay competitive against countries like China, we've got to get organized. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Robotics is becoming such a game changer. It's we need the same energy we've seen with AI strategies in general. And speaking of game changers, let's talk about Google DeepMind. They've just launched these new models, Gemini Robotics and Gemini Robotics ER. Now, these aren't your typical AI models that sit around in some server. These are designed to actually help robots interact better with the physical world. Handling the messy, unpredictable stuff. And I'm not just talking about walking over uneven surfaces or picking up coffee cups, though that's cool. We're seeing this as the next step in getting robots to really be useful in everyday scenarios. And honestly, that's exciting, right? Oh, and this year's Synapse Summit in Tampa Bay, it totally drove this point home. The kind of AI they showcased there, stuff like firearm detection systems, because, yeah, sadly, that's something we need. And these, super advanced flood sensors. Those are real-world problems, right? and seeing AI being used in ways that could actually save lives or prevent disasters. It kind of reminds you what all this tech is really for. At the end of the day, it's about making things better, not just cooler. So yeah, whether it's robots learning to deal with, like, life's little unpredictabilities or tech helping us deal with, way bigger challenges, AI is starting to feel less like, I don't know, science fiction and more like science doing what it should. And that's kind of where we'll leave it for today. The future isn't just coming, it's already here. Let's keep figuring out what that means. See you next time.